think it's the best horror film that's ever been made.
Barbarian, is it new? Was it old and you just found out about it?
It's definitely not old, but it's, let's see here.
Came out in 2022.
Okay. It's so good. Whoever made that, and don't watch the trailer, just go in blind. It's the premise is basically like a girl shows up to a Airbnb, and when she gets there, there's already someone there, and the guy's like, oh God, like, they must have screwed up. Like, I also booked it for this night too.
Oh, dude.
And then they're just like...
I started watching this, and I passed out.
It's the best.
I did start watching this.
And they were like, so she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? And he's like, I don't know. I mean, you can stay here. We'll just call these idiots in the morning and figure it out. And that's all I'll tell you.
Yeah. No, and then I got to that part where they were like both in the house and decided to sleep together.
And he's all like uncomfortable and kind of awkward and like, hey, I waited to open this wine.
Yeah, it's like raining or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. You'll love that movie.
Okay.
Knock at the Cabin by M. Night Shyamalan. Also not bad.
I loved it. I'm surprised you liked it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. Yeah,
it was.
Some of his I do not like at all, but his I thought that one was up there on his list.
It was just a Christian movie.
Yeah,
they straight up made a Bible movie for the mainstream, and I loved it. I know why I love it because I'm biased. Like,
I don't know anything about it being biblical.
Oh, it's 100% biblical. Yeah, I mean, like, and what a movie. Yeah. It was amazing, yeah.
What's the name of it?
It's called Knock at the Cabin. Dave Bautista's the lead. That's why I was excited to see it. Plus, I really like M. Night Shyamalan anyway.
He's hit or miss, but I like that he takes big fucking chances.
Yeah,
that's
huge
what
people give him shit for missing. I was like, yeah, but he's got some pretty big hits.
No, you gotta let him miss. You gotta let him miss, or you'll never get the hits.
I've said that a million times. I think I've said it on the 12 Packs podcast. It was like, people get mad, like they say, oh, he sucks. You're like, really? He made 5 better movies than you've ever made. I've like I know directors who they're like, that guy sucks. You're like, no, dude. You made Sixth Sense. It was so good that every other director ripped him off for the next 10 years. Yeah. Trying to do the same twist. Oh, the person isn't there, but you see him. And then he did make some stinkers, but he's made some great movies.
The Bruce Willis one.
Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And I loved Signs. That turned into a whole fucking series.
Signs was great.
What's the one that the split personalities, that one?
I like Split. Yeah, it was just called Split. One. But the stinkers were The Fog with Mark Wahlberg and...
There's The Happening is what they called it.
Oh, that's
it wasn't
what
The
called?
Fog. The Fog was a different movie. But
Fog is part of it, yeah.
It was kind of like it was nature turning on people.
And so, but I actually didn't hate it that much, but it wasn't great. But that movie did terrible in the box office.
I think people were set up wrong for it. I don't think people realized that it had this satire feel of nature taking on people. Yeah. And he was in on the joke with it, and people wanted it to be more of that highbrow horror, and he was like, no, I'm making a joke tongue-in-cheek right now. And I don't think people got that he was in on it.
I remember thinking it was fine.
Village, some people liked, some people didn't.
Loved The Village.
I liked The Village.
It was just it was advertised as a horror film, so that's why it did bad, because everyone in the theater's like, I want a scary movie, and instead they got a good movie that wasn't scary.
Well, that's tough about his movies. It's hard to put him in a box like, this is horror, this is that.
Also, how do you promote a movie when he's trying to keep the whole thing a secret?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's going, I don't want you to know what this is like, what it's about. Because people are so like...
What's it about? It's about an hour and a half long.
Yeah, just watch it. You're going to ruin the twist is what's going to happen.
Fuck it all up.
You can't do it with modern times. What was the movie Knives Out? Or what's it called?
Knives Out, yeah.
Yeah, those are all those Netflix series, Knives Out.
I went and saw it like weeks before it came out. And the director, it was like a, whatever those are called. Screening. Yeah. And the guy was like, you guys, we want you to write articles about this. We want you to help our movie. We're begging you. Please don't reveal the end. Please. No. We know how the internet is. We know someone in here is going to do it. Please don't. And that, don't even put, hey, spoiler alert, and then put it. Please just don't put it. Just don't tell anyone. And of course, fucking everyone tried to ruin it.
I don't know. Are we rolling?
Yeah. As soon as someone says there's a big twist, it's like, I didn't want to know that. Like, let the twist surprise me.
Because that movie was like a whodunit. It's like a mystery.
But I'm also like one of these people that I don't give a fuck if you tell me what the movie's about. I'm going to go watch it. Like, spoiler alert, I don't care. Spoil it, I'm still going to enjoy it.
There's a difference though. Like, Captain America dies at the end. You go, what the fuck did you tell me that for? Like, that's what they're talking about.
But that wouldn't ruin the movie for me.
That ruined it for me.
Dude, we all knew how the Titanic was going to end. We still watched the fucking thing.
That's different. It happened. I didn't know how the Titanic was going to end in 1930 or what, like when before the boat took off. Like that's Titanic's totally different. They put a rom-com.
Saving Private Ryan. I know how that movie ends.
Titanic put a rom-com in the middle of a massacre, like a terrible tragedy that happened. And my mom goes, "Oh, I love that massacre. I loved that tragedy because Celine Dion made music about it, and these two fucked. The girl cheated on her husband with Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. Like." That's not what the Titanic was. The Titanic was a giant boat where people died.
5,000 people died.
Yeah. And my mom's going, it's like, that's not what happened.
Do you think Jack could have fit on the fucking door? I think so.
Wouldn't have mattered. Now that I'm doing these cold plunges, now that I've done these cold plunges and I realize that...
There's a cold plunge in the Titanic of the sea.
Well, the cold plunge is actually 6 degrees warmer than the Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
maybe even 8 degrees. And I realized, like, after getting in that cold plunge for the 2 minutes that I call myself heroic, I was like, who cares about the door? The door's done. They're not surviving that water. That's insane. Those people were popsicles in 3 minutes. Not to mention you have to try and swim. And so, like, when water is that cold and you're moving, it gets colder, or it feels colder.
I bet.
Because you're moving. Like the best thing is to just go like this, because that feels more comfortable.
Tighten your body.
Yeah.
Dude, the worst I saw in movies is, this happened in real life. It was like a Navy destroyer got blown up in World War II, somewhere in the South Pacific, and 300 men jumped overboard and they were survived, but there was only rafts for maybe 40 guys, and the rest of them treading water. And then sharks started to eat these motherfuckers.
Oh, God.
I forget the name of the movie. It was Nicolas Cage was in it. You might
it didn't really happen.
No, it really happened.
Oh, it did really happen.
It really happened. They made a movie about it. Sharks picked off a third of these guys. I forget the name.
I think it's the Indianapolis, I want to say.
Yes, the Indianapolis.
Because I remember the scene from Jaws, homie.
Yeah, it was. What do you mean?
When they're in the boat and he told the story.
Oh, he told the
Jaws
story
about.
Yeah.
Because he was on the Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
He's like, I'll never sit in that water again like that. And,
there's a boat. In one of the countries we went to for the show Better Late Than Never, I'm going to guess it's Sweden. I might be wrong. But there was this giant boat, huge boat, in this museum. And we were like, what is that doing here?
Inside.
And the story of that boat was it was the shortest voyage in the history of boats. They made this giant boat, and what happened was they're so dumb. This whoever organized this voyage was so dumb that they hired an artist to design the boat. But the artist doesn't know anything about physics.
Not an engineer.
Yeah, he's not an engineer. So he just made this big cool thing. And so as it took off, all these people paid money to be in the boat. As it's taking off, it starts to sink. So their relatives are just waving at him from the dock, and then it just starts to...
Their arms are underwater.
Yeah, so no one died because everyone just started jumping off.
Swam back to shore.
Everyone rested, so it's fine. But, this boat cost tons of money. This, world-renowned artist designed it. It was just a complete waste of money. The biggest tank since the current Mets.
Angels are in that list, too.
Yeah, and the Angels, yeah. But it's just so fascinating that... those kind of things. Maybe run it by an engineer.
I don't know, man. Eaten by a shark's got to... You saw that video of the guy getting eaten by the shark recently, right?
In Egypt, yeah.
I think... In Egypt?
Yeah, it was
they
in
have
Egypt.
Sharks in Egypt? I didn't even have water in Egypt.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in Egypt.
I guess that's the Mediterranean. But, I feel like a shark attack... I feel like sharks... Getting killed by a shark and killed by a bear is, equally as horrible because they'll, pick pieces of you off. Or if you get killed by a big cat,
they go crazy.
They go right for your neck. You want to die soon.
Yeah, you need a smart animal to kill you. This is in Egypt.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
Also, there's water everywhere in the world. There's water. It's not all oceans, but, there's bodies of water.
Look, he's getting bitten.
He just keeps getting pulled down. You can hear him screaming for help. But I'm like, what are the people on the shore supposed to do?
Get in there?
Let me go grab you. No way, dude. You're done.
Yeah.
Also, I find this is a fascinating thing that...
Oh, and the shark just gets a shoulder? Oof.
That we have a criminal justice system for animals that kill people.
Yeah.
They went and found that shark and killed it. Also, there was an alligator recently that ate a woman in Florida. He ate her dog, and then she's an old lady, so she's trying to pull her dog out of the gator. And so the gator just followed the leash and ate her. And they went and found the gator and killed.
I don't think.
Why do we do this? Why are we killing these animals that kill people?
The shark was doing shark things in the water.
Found guilty. You can't kill people.
A jury of dolphins fucking ruled.
Like the fucking shark knows. Shark has no idea that he did anything wrong. It's like, you knew better, Gator. Like, why are we punishing? I mean, obviously, I don't give a shit that they killed the shark or the gator, but what is the thought process behind?
Yeah, we got to get that shark.
Yeah.
Like, that shark needs to know.
Right.
He did wrong.
Shame on you, shark.
We're going to kill him, and all the other sharks are going to know you don't need
people. They
people.
caught him fast, too, man. They caught him pretty quick. I expected him to be bigger.
I mean, bigger. I think it's pretty.
And they cut him open, and they
the
found the guy in there. But like, sharks do work. They don't. It's not like he's gonna be alive in there. Like
sew him back together,
like a boa. Like you could a person.
Dude, they caught a 19-foot Burmese python in Florida, the largest ever caught.
Really?
The longest snake ever. Just recently, like last week. 19 feet. Fucking thing weighs 380 pounds, something like that.
Maybe the shark's bigger than I thought.
It's a fucking big shark, dude. Big enough to kill a human.
I just don't get why we're killing them. Why we're punishing them.
I know. Dude, speaking of...
Because it's not like they go, well... Because I bet someone smart listening or some know-it-all is going to comment, well, once it has the taste of blood, now it... Yeah, but like, how do you know those other sharks in the ocean...
have the taste of blood.
Aren't thinking about killing some people. They just haven't done it yet.
They're thinking about killing a local seal.
Yeah?
So there's some local seal that's been getting on surfboards, and...
Oh, I saw that.
Now it's getting a little bit aggressive as it gets on surfboards, and it's nipping and biting at people, and they're pretty sure it's going to eventually bite someone. And when it does, they're going to have to try and bring it in. And if they can't get it to bring it in, they might kill it. But they're trying to
quit. Let them do it, man. These surfers need to have a little adventure.
Exactly. Fuck that, dude. They're in nature.
They get bit. You're out in the ocean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're gonna kill every jellyfish.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what animals do. They go, hey,
get rid of bees. One stung me. We need to end bees. Like,
this guy's fucking around on the waves. Gotta get him.
That's a big fucking shark, dude.
It is big.
That's a big fucker.
It's
like torturing it now.
Sometimes it looks.
Like what, they're trying to get to throw
they
up.
Smacked
like,
it.
Fuck you. What are you doing?
You see that guy just smacked the shark?
Yeah, these guys are heroes, huh? Where were you guys when he was actually chomping that swimmer down?
Yeah, I know.
Also, it kind of looked like the guy was swimming with a shirt on. It's unusual.
Oh, that's the guy? Vladimir Popov.
Kind of looks like me if I was younger and Russian. If I was a young Russian kid, that's me.
Similar haircuts?
Yeah. Yeah, well, sharks kill people.
Well, they do remove, like, so when bears get into your trash, they will, like, have to kill that bear.
Why?
Well, the problem is they know where they keep coming back. Like, that's the thing. So, I know.
You got a pet bear now, bro. Should have done better at your
also,
trash.
big deal. You live where bears live. We live where bears live.
I honestly wish there were more wild animals like in urban environments. I wish there were like wolves, a pack of wolves outside. Clean up the fucking homeless problem pretty quick.
Yeah, who are we? Who are we? We put houses and streets and stuff
in the middle of where they were.
Yeah. I always thought that was fascinating about like hunters. Obviously, I've learned like we've got to kill the deers. Not all of them, but like they'll populate so much that it's actually okay
to be overrun by deer. Yeah.
In the herd, it's okay to do that. It's part of it. But like as far as like a moose will be in the road and some truck doesn't see it and it ruins his Ford F-150 and you're like, yeah, you put a road through his house. Yeah. The moose was just living here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my woods.
All of a sudden, there's a road.
Walking over to a different path. Boom! And you go, stupid moose. And you go, no, that road wasn't there. We put it there. Like, it's a strange world we live in.
We do force like put human minds at the animal. The animal's coming after you.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was just eating, and you happen to be around.
Yeah. You had a stupid dog on a leash, and the gator's like, I don't eat that.
A chihuahua, that's easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
Easy kill.
That's how nature works. I mean, it's not funny, but it's definitely, it's how it works.
Dude, I actually, speaking of, you were talking about like they caught the shark. Like, what are they going to put the guy back together? I saw an article yesterday. They sewed a kid's head back on in Israel.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, Google that. Fucking kid got his head, I don't know how he got his head lopped off.
The kid's still dead, but they attached his head.
No, he's alive.
He looks a lot better. With a head.
He's alive, dude.
What is this? Is this real?
Yeah, look.
Hadass.
Times of Israel.
Hadassah.
Reattached boy's head to his neck after an internal decapitation. What's an internal decapitation?
Kid's
Oh, that
cross-eyed.
means he didn't like actually lose his head. So
it was unsevered. It didn't fall off completely.
yeah, so it like detached from his neck and broke and stuff inside, but like the skin and everything didn't like.
Oh, I thought he was like decapitated. I'm like, who the fuck decapitated his kid and then put his head back on?
Let's see the headline again. Yeah. Well, what reattach is a little bit of a misleading term.
Yeah.
You can't say reattach if it wasn't
Severed.
detached. It has to be detached to reattach.
Yeah, it was all the ligaments and things
Yeah,
inside.
nice little headline you got there, and then they stand by this cross-eyed boy. Look at what he was decapitated yesterday, and they're like, decapitated? He was like, well, not really. Well, then why'd you say it?
I wonder if he was cross-eyed before or after the surgery. Like this.
No, they're just holding him up. That kid's
They're
dead.
weakening the Bernie's thing.
Yeah, that kid's dead. They go, this will make the news. No one's going to read the article anyways.
Make the news.
Yeah. Even you, when you pitched it, you're like, I just read the attached. You didn't read any of
I
this.
read the headline.
You didn't read any of it.
I just read the
No
headline.
neurological deficits.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. He's got an eye deficit.
It's also been a day.
You remember that
Let's give it some time, see what happens.
the player who died for the Angels in a car accident?
Oh, yeah.
It was internal decapitation.
Interesting. Yeah, I did a charity event for that.
Internal decapitations?
No, the Angels player. There was 3 Angels. Were they all Angels, or was it just 3 guys in the car? And
2 of them went to
I
hell.
think they were all-
One of them.
Nice
He
guys.
went to Anaheim.
Real young kids. I don't know if they were all baseball players or if he was the only baseball player, but multiple guys died in this car
Was it Rick
accident.
Ankiel? No, it wasn't.
No,
Rick
it wasn't.
Ankiel.
I love Rick Ankiel, but I don't know the guy's name. I wouldn't know it if he told me.
Rick can't kill the guy with the yips.
He got the yips and then came back as a position player.
What is the
It's
yips?
a great story. It'd be a documentary if he didn't get popped for steroids.
What is the yips?
Yips means you, for whatever reason, you can just not throw to first base or hit the strike zone. Like you just get.
How did they not fix that? Like, just throw it, dude.
Well, I know, but that's why it's got a name.
I'm saying like doctors haven't figured out like psychologically like, this something like just take this pill and go fucking.
I don't know.
Nick Aidenhart was his name.
So this guy in 2009. Oh wait, sorry. When did he die?
I think 2009 also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Just after his first start.
I get a call from the Comedy Magic Club. Richard Barrett goes, I know you love baseball and, you're one of our favorites of the club. Can you come down and do this like charity show? I said, yeah. He goes, just don't do any alcohol jokes and keep it clean. It's going to be a charity. All the money's going to go to the family of these young men that died. I think more than just him died, though.
I was going to say, because I assume baseball took care of him.
And so I was like, sure, yeah, no problem. I actually heard about this. I'm happy to come down and do a charity. So we did the charity show. The crowd, you could hear people crying in the audience at a comedy show.
During the show?
Because it was only like a day or 2 days
Oh, it
after
wasn't that.
it happened.
Oh, my God.
And because it wasn't like people come in and then the money goes to this. It was like the family felt like they had to show up.
Oh, it wasn't like locals coming to a charity benefit. Oh, no.
And so it was like, I was like, oh, this is so much heavier. Like, it's not as fun.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted the money to go to this family. I didn't want the family to
there,
be
yeah.
there and all. So it was really,
They
really
rolled up
sad,
the casket
but-
right in front of the stage and just
No. But I mean, I felt, it was not a fun gig. But,
Did anything land?
well, I mean, the jokes went fine, but it was just kind of like the
weeping,
vibe of the room.
The weeping really gave.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, have you ever been, like, on a show where it's just, like, it's heavy in there? Like, the vibe of the room is just heavy? Like, the day after Donald Trump won president, performing anywhere, like, was just, like, tense. There was, like, that tension. And especially in L.A.
Oh, yeah.
Or
I was in Boston
any
for
like,
that.
town where
That was a good time.
liberals were
Very liberal Boston.
crying and going, oh, can you believe it's the end of the world?
I love Chase's take on that. I remember he was like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this. Well, he's like, he's racist. He's the first racist president we've had.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? He's like it's back to normal.
You could put a chimp in charge of the office. It's not going to change.
It's not gonna change
It's not going to
anything.
change anything. It's just really true, dude.
It is pretty sad how little the president can do to change anything.
Doesn't
It really doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, it's like a big position, but our day-to-day lives are so little impacted by who's in the office.
look at the dipshits we have right now. One guy can't complete a sentence and has no idea what he's talking about. I was a swimmer. No idea what he was saying. Our vice president talks like she's speaking to a 5-year-old at all times. The diagrams with the circles? I love those. I've always a Venn diagram. I used to love those Venn diagrams.
They hid her.
She talks like she's only speaking to 5-year-olds. She's an idiot.
Yeah.
And then Donald Trump is a big, fat loser who's literally like a bully and like a child bully. You know, behaves like a little
from Queens. I grew up with 100 of those
stupid,
guys.
Just can't get out of his own way. Just a moron. And then you, Mike Pence has no idea what he's talking about. Nobody. Can you imagine being Mike Pence? He was a vice president of America for 4 years, and still no one knows anything about him. We don't know anything.
He's got so little personality, it hurts.
Just sat back there going, I don't know. He asked me if I want to do it.
I said no.
And Obama, he's deporting Mexicans and blowing people up via drone strike left and right, and everyone goes,
all-time record holder.
Everyone goes, don't say anything. He's a black guy. Don't criticize him. If you criticize him, you know what they'll call you, right? I mean, literally, these are the people that have been running the country for the last, I don't know what I just covered, 12 years
I
there.
know. But I'm saying our day-to-day existence is so unchanged from each of those guys being or gals being
It's been a great decade for me. Affected me zero. And I hate all of them. They all stink. Seriously.
Made no difference.
Well, you could put
no
You
impact.
could put The Rock as the president. It's fine.
Well, we were saying, why don't you run?
I should run.
I wonder how many votes you'd get.
I'm too reasonable. Too reasonable. They would go, get him out of there.
Yeah, they can't have that.
Yeah. Like, I want to fix the homeless problem. The next headline would be like, Jeff hates the homeless. You're like, what? I said, I want to fix it. That's just how it works. You can't be there's just no way to be a president that won't get criticized.
I wonder.
Or not criticized, but you won't be, like, misrepresented.
Do you think they, like, take you in a room, like, when you're getting close and, like, hey, you got to cut this shit out with changing the world? And
maybe.
You know, like,
yeah.
They just show you videos of JFK's head getting blown off. So you see what happens when you try and fucking change something?
That'd be funny.
I
do like that. Jeff, you're the front runner.
So
we just want to remind you, cut the cute shit.
Exactly.
You know this whole save the world bullshit?
Right? Yeah, be kind. What is this? Be kind. Fuck that.
Stop.
Blood all over your girl's dress.
I mean, that's what happened to Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama's whole campaign was about, like, weight loss.
Oh, my God.
Like,
they fucking eviscerated her.
And then the FDA's like, you shut the fuck up. We're trying to sell some hamburgers and guns to these fuckers. You shut your mouth. And then she just changed it all. She just changed the whole thing to, like, a different, like...
It was both sides, too, because they're like, oh, you can't fat shame kids. And then the FDA's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to sell this.
Oh, it's fascinating.
You can't win.
Yeah.
There's no winning.
They completely made her, like, change her whole thing. I don't even know what it turned into, but her little exercise daily changed. They changed that routine within, like, 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, Trump in China. He was going hard on China, but as a candidate. And he gets in office. He got real fucking soft on China. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, I'm sure they pulled him and said, hey, motherfucker, they're buying all our debt. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, man, there's a lot of money attached.
Like, shut the fuck up.
You know how many people the Clintons have killed? We want to be one of them? We'll get these Clintons, like the mob and the...
I know.
You see how many, like... That's the craziest part about the Clintons. Is you go, oh, God, shut up, Tim Dillon. Shut up, these people. The Clintons didn't kill anyone. And then you do a little bit of homework.
There's bodies dropping all around
you
them.
do a little bit of homework, and you're like, holy...
Well, see, the thing about the Clintons, every president kills people. That's part of the job. You got to kill people.
Yeah, but they're in other countries.
Yeah, but the Clintons, when they were not in office, bodies were dropping around them. You know what I'm saying? That's what's crazy.
The amount of suspicious, weird deaths and
around
murders
them,
around Hillary Clinton are phenomenal. Like, it would take a billion coincidences. She'd have to win the lottery every hour for those deaths.
Exactly.
Like, that's how unprobable.
Oh, yeah, the Whitewater guy, the lawyer
One dude
down
just
at
ended up in
Arkansas.
the bottom of a river. They had, like, a huge fight and falling out. The guy was going to snitch, and he's just in the bottom of a lake. Or not a lake, a river.
They got to make a documentary about this. Like, I want an alternate universe type of thing.
Yeah.
Where the Clintons are killers.
Yeah.
You know,
Werner Herzog will make that documentary, and then he'll die a week before it comes out. And then
barrel at him like his name Tim whatever.
He's also afraid of Hillary. They're all like going, "Oh, the Clintons are going to kill us."
Do you think? I think she's more scary than Bill.
I think Bill's more likable, but I think they're both scary. They're
Really?
so powerful.
I think she's more deadly.
I don't know.
I feel like he's obviously more likable, more clever, but I feel like maybe because I identify with him. He's got his vice. He just likes chicks. You know, like with her, she's like hungry for power. Yeah, and I can't identify with that.
Well, why do you love the mob and not the Clintons? It's the same shit. One just wears an ugly pantsuit, and the other is like they're like, Mom, I'm from Brooklyn,
Well, I guess at least they admit to killing people.
They're the mob.
Yeah, they admit to killing people though. They're
okay.
honest. Their rule, their rules.
They have a system.
Yeah, they live by a code. You might not agree with the code, but you know what the code is. The Clintons pretend to have a code and live by a completely different set of rules than everybody else.
It is frightening. And if anyone's hearing this and going, "Oh, Jeff's drank the Kool-Aid," just look, just do a little, and you'll go, "Oh my God, I'd be so afraid to know any of these politicians.
Yeah.
I'd be so afraid to be their friends." Or
and
anything.
look, I do give the Clintons respect in that regard. Like they've gotten away with it. I mean, they play in the game at a high level. Like the Bush family.
Yeah.
I mean, you think George Bush is the only president to have been the director of the CIA.
Yeah.
So he knows where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah. I mean, but it does. I don't think that he had a personal. I mean, maybe he did. I don't know anything about the Bushes, but or about George Sr. So he's probably as corrupt as all the. But I just think that just because you run the CIA that's a different category.
Yeah. No. Well. Yeah. I mean, that's category.
I'm saying Hillary has like a personal assistant,
a personal body
that just
count
dies.
Yeah.
She has a guy that she did business with for 3 years, just dies.
Yeah.
And even the deaths are like, oh, we think someone murdered him. And they're like, well, are you going to look into that? Nah, we don't know. Server's been wiped. That's the scary part. I get the governments kill people all the time, and countries, every country's guilty of it and does it. So that's more normal to me, like the CIA and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason why that's how Kennedy got elected. His father was a bootlegger.
Oh, really?
And worked with the mafia. He got him elected in Chicago, in Illinois, and West Virginia. They got the labor vote.
Yeah.
Like all the labor unions. And then his fucking brother goes after the mob.
I'm telling you.
So the mob and the CIA kill him.
Right. It's like that, and I can't believe no one's more interested in that. Martin Luther King Jr.'s brother was just shot in broad daylight. Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated. JFK assassinated. The guy who fills in for him assassinated. They would just get killed and whacked, and people go, I don't know, it's probably racism. Let's look into it
Probably
a little.
racism.
And now people go missing, and since we have the internet and all these distractions, and people going, they shouldn't cut their dicks off. Like, no one even looks at these deaths.
Yeah.
But there's assassinations happening all the time, everywhere, and no one gives a shit.
And people say, this is the craziest time, the most turbulent time, so much division. Dude, in the 60s, the 3 most famous men on earth were killed back to back to back within 18 months of each other.
Oh, for sure.
I think we're a little bit safer now than we were then, but still, you should be looking into this stuff.
Yeah. You know why everyone cared about when Lincoln was assassinated? Because there was no TikTok. There wasn't a girl going, go to my OnlyFans, I'll show you my pussy. They didn't have all day of just being like, how can I get my podcast clicks up?
Yeah, no.
Right, they go, holy shit, someone shot the president in a movie theater? And then he jumped down.
A live theater.
Broke his legs.
And ran off.
And then ran off on a horse? How did he get on a horse with 2 broken legs? Like people were more interested in these things. And nowadays they just go, my wife's got a ton of followers. Got to keep her
it's
up.
like, who's Lena the plug fucking that's not her husband?
I got to make sure people respect women's rights and fix this pay gap. That's what they care about.
We live in a time where it's respect women's rights, but every woman has an OnlyFans.
Yeah. I know.
What a dichotomy.
This new woman, and I probably should never put this on a podcast, but this new woman is fascinating to me.
I love it.
The new woman is fascinating. I hate kids, and I like being alone, and I go to movies alone. Oh, also I make $1,000 a day showing my pussy on OnlyFans, and we're all supposed to go, what a gal. Not reproducing. Hates kids, the greatest thing in the world, kids. Hates them, thinks they're a nuisance. Loves being by herself, which is a lie. No one does.
No one does.
And then also bragging about how much money she makes being an internet prostitute.
That's the thing, man. Enough with the fucking pay gap.
That's the woman that we respect. That's insane.
Well, it's like, she's doing it on her own accord. It's like, well, if that's her only option is to show her pussy for money,
right?
Like how else she make? How else is she going to make $1,000 a day with a fucking GED? Or
if I meet a woman at Taco Bell drive-thru, I respect her more than a woman who's like, I make
putting in work.
I make $1,000 a day showing my tits on. I go, what are you doing?
Yeah,
that's just a different version of prostitution.
It is.
Which, I mean,
it's a low end version of it.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
But it is closing the gender pay gap.
No, there's no pay gap. People don't understand how to measure things.
I want to know how all these women make that much money, though, man.
Well, because we're guys and we like...
Guys have that much money to spend on that many different women? I mean, there's got to be 25 million women on OnlyFans. Like, how are they all making money?
I think that's how much men are lonely and
that's how desperate men are? Yeah.
I mean, I'm part of it. I am waving my finger at these girls in judgment. But it's like, we're horny dudes. Men are creatures of... Well, that's another part of it, actually. I never thought of it now that I'm saying it out loud. It's like women hate men, and those are the men that pay for their OnlyFans.
Yes.
The creeps.
The creeps and incels.
Toxic masculinity and the incels and all these things that everyone has all these problems with. That's who's buying your tit pics. It's not me.
Who's keeping you plush in your
that's
condo.
Who's paying you to masturbate in your loft.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
I'm not I give you $0.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't be mad at them. You can be mad at me. I don't give you anything.
Oh man, I wonder how much OnlyFans itself makes. It must be a
lot.
$1 billion company. The guy who invented that's a fucking genius.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if he's a genius.
I mean, yeah, he is.
I mean, financial genius. Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's a simple idea. Like, get girls to show their tits and have guys pay money. I take 20%.
It's the YouTube of porn. Like, he doesn't have to create anything, do anything, and he just lets other. Oh, that's for sure, probably, but yeah. But and the guy who created the thing, like,
yeah, he's fine. I mean, I guess you're giving the devil his due, but he's still the devil.
Yeah. He's kind of like that guy who did the Girls Gone Wild stuff, but a lot more secretive.
What's that guy's name?
Joe, whatever his name is.
Joe.
Is
Joe
he
Francis.
in prison?
Joe Francis. No, I think he got out. But I wonder why he's not more famous now. What happened to that guy? Joe Francis was on everything.
Yeah.
I know he punched a woman in the face. And,
did he?
And the woman that he punched, I really didn't like, anyways. So.
Oh, she had it coming.
No woman has it coming getting punched in the face, but. He did punch a woman in the face, and it was a big deal. Her name was.
I wonder how much money he made from all that shit. Because it was pretty.
Oh, he's all right. He's still out there. Look at that. 715.
What is this? Why is he showing missing kids? What the fuck is going on?
Maybe he got into something good. Maybe he's
part of QAnon stuff.
Maybe he's doing something
good.
good.
Is that Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, she's the best, dude.
You a big Kim Kardashian fan now?
I wasn't, and then I saw her in person, and she is absolutely stunning. I was shocked. And she doesn't look in real life as shapely as she appears in these images. Like she just
they photoshopped the shit out of the images.
I don't know if it's photoshopped, but like her butt didn't look like it's some insane crazy thing. It just looked like a hot butt.
Okay.
Her waist looked great. Like her boobs, her face, her hair, like I saw her and I was like taken aback by how pretty she was in real life.
Okay.
And me and Josh were like, dude, I thought she had like some big Rikishi butt.
I wouldn't have put you on a woman like that. You seem to be not
normally my type.
Model-esque.
And she was very like modestly dressed and she carried herself very like I was impressed. After seeing her in real life, I'm a Kim K fan now.
Yeah,
but
there's another one, right?
Fan. I just think she's hot.
There's another one, right? She got famous from we talked about it in your podcast.
Yeah.
Sucking a famous person.
She was already kind of famous, I think. She was just getting some heat. What's Joe Francis doing now?
I haven't really found too
Criminal.
much yet.
That's what it goes. It says criminal.
Yeah, they made a doc about his whole thing that didn't.
Well, he's the devil too. I mean, like I'm not a Joe Francis fan. The guy literally exploited drunk girls on beaches. Like, show us your boobs, and then I'll sell VHS tapes to.
But I mean, what's wrong with that if they sign a release?
I don't think they did.
Well, that's a crime then.
Yeah. Well, they were just girls gone. You just go with a camera.
That's the other thing too. Didn't was he sure these girls were of age?
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty fucking risky.
Yeah, I mean, it was also a time where it's like. He's like, I'll just run into that problem when it becomes a problem. Just try to make money off of this, and then
that is a strategy that businesses go with. I mean, like pharmaceutical companies do it all the time, right? Like they're gonna put a drug out there, like, it might have harmful side effects. Well, fuck it, sell as much of it as you can before we find out, and then we'll pay the fine. After we make $2 billion, we'll pay $500 million for fines.
I have a rule that I give away free tickets to my live shows if you subscribe to my Patreon.
Yeah.
And then someone goes, well, what's gonna happen if you get 150,000 Patreon subscribers and they're all wanting free tickets to your show? I was like, I'll be happy to have that problem when it comes. Yeah. It's just, I'll deal with it then. And I think that's what he thought. He probably didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's just filming girls' boobs out and then putting it on the
DVDs.
Then the VHS tapes sold like fire. And he's like, all right, now I've got to deal with that problem that I thought about earlier. But it was terrible. I mean, like, I think the Girls Gone Wild guy is just as bad as the OnlyFans person and just as bad as any of this other stuff. It's all.
But why do you think it's bad if, like, if these women want to do it, there's a market for it. They're just bringing buyers and sellers together?
Because I have a different. We all have different like moral lines, and it just crosses my personal moral line.
Okay,
that's all.
That's okay. That doesn't
Just
make
my own judgment,
okay.
like for what I think is appropriate and inappropriate, which is I think that's inappropriate.
Do you think it's worse doing that than like selling a drug that could kill people?
No, I think that's terrible too.
Okay.
Yeah. Although,
because I think selling sex is less harmless than selling, Vioxx, which ended up killing like a third of its users.
Death by masturbation's a better way to go.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I guess that's interesting because here's the thing: is like people go, well, who's to say that's wrong? It's like, well, I'm not saying it's wrong.
McDonald's kills more people, right? The fucking cholesterol is horrible for you. People who eat McDonald's get fat and die.
Yeah.
You could argue they put out more poison than OnlyFans does.
But I mean, my moral compass is just like, which is no one else's.
Yeah.
It's just I think that's wrong. I think I would never want to be with a woman who's like, oh, I made $100,000 this month on some porn thing. Like I would go, I don't want to be with that lady.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's a big thing going on now. I was reading that's like the fucking internet going ablaze about this shit. So I guess some guy named Adam 22 is married to some woman named Lena the Plug, and they fuck.
Met him a few times.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Podcast world.
Yeah, apparently they fuck on camera and like they have like a podcast like this, and then they have a guest and they fuck their guest, usually a woman. But for the first time in 7 years, he let her go fuck another guy, and now they call him like a big cuck and all this other bullshit. But I'm curious as to why we're so enthralled by that, and why we're sitting in judgment of another guy's relationship with a woman.
Well, I just think like we all have judgments.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. You believe in abortion, right? You think that's okay?
I'm pro-abortion.
Okay, that's your stance.
Most people are pro-choice. I'm pro-abortion.
And is it because you think that it's her body? Why would you give a shit?
No, because I don't want to have. If it happened to me, I don't want kids, so I want there to be abortion.
Okay,
I'm selfish.
Well, that's good. At least you're honest. Most people aren't. But here's the thing. What if we were at the chimney sweep and we saw a woman who's like 8 months pregnant and she's just getting fucking hammered? Just drinking whiskey shots. Would you be fine with that?
No, it'd be
it's her body.
It'd be a little weird, yeah.
Well, why do you care?
I mean, I wouldn't care, but like, eesh, that's fucking...
Where does this judgment come from?
It kind of grossed me out. Like, ooh, she's going hard on that.
Yeah. What if someone sold your mom heroin and got her addicted to heroin?
Yeah.
Well, why do you care about that? Well, it's her body, and it's also good for that guy. He's getting rich off selling heroin. We have to have some sort of line.
You have to draw the lines
where we say, "Hey, I personally think that's wrong."
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I love women, and I just personally think that you should find a better way to make money.
Yeah.
That like what if I just went up to any chick on the street and said, "Hey, here's $50. Let me see those tits." You wouldn't do that.
I wish I could.
She'd be like, "Who the fuck are you?" Right? But yet on the computer, you're completely allowed to be an animal. And like, so we're not.
You should do that on YouTube. Fucking start a man on the street just go walking. Hey, $50.
Let me see those titties.
Do you have an OnlyFans? Yeah, here's $50. Show me your tits.
Yeah, I mean, like that's really what it is.
What? No. Go to my OnlyFans. No, I want to see your tits now. Here's $50.
Why is that offensive?
Yeah, exactly.
But me looking on the computer going, and like, what? Because there's anonymity or some sort of thing. So like, I guess the real question is, what is wrong and what is right?
Yeah.
Like when you hurt someone, you inherently know, like, man, I probably shouldn't be punching this guy.
Yeah.
Yet but where does that come from? Where does that knowing that's wrong come from?
Yeah, that moral compass that you get.
Yeah, what is that?
Dude, especially with the OnlyFans thing, a lot of times, too, a lot of these guys don't mind it because they're like parking lot pimping their fucking girlfriend. It's like, oh, she's making $100,000 a month.
Yeah, and I think those guys...
I'm sitting fucking tight. Those guys are even worse than the girl.
I judge those guys, too.
Yeah, those guys are even worse than the chick.
And also, I don't know, like, I am coming off kind of, like, judgmental about these girls. I find it hard to respect, that's all. I don't think that they're bad people or anything. You gotta get paid. You gotta do what you gotta do. But it just, I don't think you're heroic for making your own money.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I'm rich, though. It's like, at what cost?
I think that's part of it. I think the reason why it rubs me a little bit of the wrong way, it's like, it's kind of a cop-out. It's like, all right, so you didn't do anything else, huh?
Yeah.
You're like, all right, you have no skill, or at least you're not marketing your skills, you're not relying on your talent or your judgment or your intellect. It's like, here's my tits.
Yeah. Well, where's the female electricians? Yeah. Where's the female construction workers? Where's the female engineers?
Saying this is bullshit.
Where's the female lawyers? Where's all the I don't see women going, you know how much money I make being like a high-powered
attorney. Yeah.
Like they don't. Now it's just like, you wouldn't believe how easy it is. Wow. Way to fight the sexual stereotypes and the patriarchy that you can't shut up about. That's how you're gonna fight the patriarchy.
That I think is part of the reason too, Jeff. The hypocrisy of it. Like, oh, down with the patriarchy. How are you gonna get down with the patriarchy? I'm gonna show my pussy to a bunch of guys a bunch of desperate men. It's like you're just gonna use desperate men to make money.
The men you hate.
Yeah, exactly.
The men you claim you hate.
Yeah.
Or
not paying your bills.
That's all it is for me. It's just like it's more of a, and also like, I think that's what makes a lot of like religion, not religion, but like what makes believing in like a higher thing good. At least you have some sort of boundaries that you go, okay, this is what I.
They say no to this.
Because otherwise you go around going, let people do whatever they want. No. Don't let people do whatever they want.
Letting people do whatever they want ends really badly.
Whatever they want? Who cares? Let them cut their dicks off. You go, I think that's going to be a problem. Where are you going to find that physician?
Dude, I wonder if like the people, like the surgeons that worked and doing the trans surgeries.
Yeah, they're rich.
That's what I'm saying. What kind of explosion in wealth they've seen in the last 5 years?
That's why they won't say anything about it.
They must be living on the coast of fucking the south of France somewhere.
That's why they're ignoring all the data about like how many people regret it, or how many people have like suicidal ideations, or how people like going, I can't reverse this. Some people there's like a huge study about like. There's been months.
All these
studies.
Endocrinologists giving out fucking hormone blockers and must be getting
money.
Fat. Yeah,
money.
Yeah.
And there's not many of these doctors. It's a new little branch, and so now you got to go to these guys. But like, there's a ton of studies about people who have gotten a tattoo and the immediate remorse they feel, not because they hate the tattoo and not because they won't eventually like the tattoo, but just something that permanent.
Like, oh, what do I do about this?
Oh no, I've done a thing that I can't, because we don't have many things like that in life where you've done it and you can't go back on it. And so like now imagine,
thankfully, by the way,
getting some sort of surgery that you removed your genitals. Like the regret you'd have on that is like, not everyone. Maybe some are in eternal bliss now that they've got different genitals. But like, there's got to be a large percentage of people that are like, oh no, like this is a real commitment we did here. Like that's a big thing.
I know. I wonder how much
marriage is supposed to be forever. How many people don't
go back
do
on that? Yeah, 70% of
all
people,
of them?
60%.
Yeah, this is fucking fascinating.
I mean, I wonder, they don't do many studies on that, follow-up studies on like how many people actually regret transitions.
They don't want it. But there's tons of, you can find 1,000 testimonies in under a minute on the internet.
There's no long-term study for it.
They lied to me. They made me think that this would help, when really the problem was, or not the problem, but my feelings were here.
Yeah. It wasn't here.
Yeah, it wasn't like about your body.
Yeah. I wonder if they would ever be able to reverse it. Like double revert, like an Uno card. Do the double reverse.
It might be a real. It's like Michael Jackson's nose. Once you start doing it,
caved in and see the end of it.
If we can fix this, we're on nose number 12. I don't think.
I don't think we're going back.
Can't go back, Mike.
The only thing that's going to get us there is some guy's going to want to get a bigger dick, and once they figure out that, then they're like, "Oh, well, we can mass produce these, and yeah, sure, now you can go anywhere you want."
I'm surprised that's a surgery that I haven't mastered yet. You know, I mean, I feel like women's plastic surgery moves faster than men's. Boob jobs are really good now. The butt job is it's getting better, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But they still haven't fixed, men's hair surgery. Like they haven't mastered it yet. Like mastered it. Elon Musk probably has the best you probably have out there. He's doing pretty good with his hair transplant surgery. You don't see any like mass dick implants going around. Like they're not. Yeah. It's not like a thing.
Have you seen them? They're weird.
What, dick implants or
not
hair
dick
plugs?
Implants, but like the trans wiener.
I've never looked one up,
dude.
What are they, do they fashion it? Yeah, Google it up.
It'll really change your opinion.
Do they I heard what they do is they just give you hormones so it grows into the clitoris grows into it.
They add a thing. They take a part of your arm or a part of your leg and they make one.
No shit.
And if you see it, it is
trans wiener.
It is.
I should type in penis. I don't think wiener's gonna.
It's a lot.
So that's what the arm scar looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I got a friend who has an arm scar like that from a car accident, and it looks like he's like a trans.
Let's see. What?
It's just this thing.
It doesn't even look like a wiener.
Can't believe we're talking about this.
Oh my god! Can you zoom out?
It's the weirdest looking.
Can it get erect?
Because penis is already gross. No.
Yeah.
Penis is already gross.
Penis is a weird thing. Yeah, it's already a weird thing.
Yeah.
A little fleshy thing with no bone in it.
Yeah, wieners are gross.
Yeah.
And then when
Elliot
you try
Smith's gonna have the Cadillac of like.
When you try to
you think he's gonna do it?
I mean, if anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the vagina? Reconstructed vagina?
Yep.
They look any good?
Nope. Not into it. But I actually, while we're talking about that, I don't think the female vagina is very attractive either. I think a penis and a vagina aren't very good-looking genitals, in my opinion.
Yeah. If you put the sexuality aside, it's like, what?
Yeah, they're great for like function and all that. But like just looking at them, I remember when I was a kid, me and my buddy Mike Krause, we were kind of like going through puberty the exact same time. I guess we all were, but me and him were talking about it. And like we were dude, sometimes does it get bigger? And he's like, yeah, what the fuck? Like we were kind of like, we only felt comfortable enough talking to each other. Shout out to Mike Krause, miss you, buddy. But like we would find Playboys in his neighbor's trash. Or I don't know if they were Playboys, but some sort of naked magazines. And we actually had like an agreement. We're like, tits are cool, women are the best, but vaginas are gross. We would actually talk about it. We're like, I don't even like that. Because it was like, it was the 80s. And so there was a lot of like wet hair. Yeah. So I just remember like looking at it going, it's
like a poodle getting out of a pool.
Because we didn't know what it felt like. Yeah. And actually we didn't even know about intercourse yet. Oh yeah. We just knew we were feeling these things about naked women. And so like we didn't know that would end up being our favorite thing ever. At the time it was just visual. And we're going,
sweaty armpit.
Yeah, we're going, what is that thing? I don't like that. We like those boobies.
Especially the wet hair.
Boobies are cool. And then you see that, you go, not me. You go, we'll just
not for me, buddy.
Wait a little while, Jeff. You'll see. You're gonna really enjoy that.
Just crawling in one every night.
It's gonna be your favorite. What else should we talk about? I don't think it's gonna move a lot of clicks. Me just bashing on women and trans people.
What did I? Just laughing about the wet vagina hair. I can't get the image out of my head.
Not hot.
Because it's been so long.
We've all seen that Hustler.
Yeah. No, it's been so long since you've seen it, but I remember when I was like 14, 15 years old, I was hooking up with a girl, and it was summertime, and there was wet hair.
Yeah, you go, what is this?
What is this?
Come on.
Come on.
You think that's gonna come back?
Dude,
everything comes back, so maybe, but
yeah, I feel like Bush is coming back. I've seen something on the internet about it.
Oh, I know. Like there was something like women are refusing to
shave their bikini.
Their bikini line. I saw that click, and I was just like, or I saw the clickbait, and I was like, I'm not clicking on that because here's the thing: we do what the person we're trying to attract wants.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Like, I can make whatever statement I want. I'm like, I'm going to grow a mustache. That does, like, you can do whatever you want. The second that it's not getting the result you want, it's not determined by you. It's determined by the person or whatever that you're trying to attract.
Yeah.
So you can not shave your bikini lines all you want. It's hardly a statement. We'll just go, gross. And you'll go, I'm going to start shaving. Yeah. Or if you're trying to attract women and now the woman goes, no thanks. Like, then you'll shave it. Like, whoever you're trying to attract, that's who determines it. It's the market.
I know. I feel like some things that they do push on you, though. Like, there are trends that the world does push upon you.
I don't know. They've been trying to push Lizzo on me, and it just ain't working.
I'm not buying it. Wait, so we'll go ahead, give us some. Let's talk about it.
Well, Lizzo's a good one, but I mean,
well, Lizzo's a whole person.
Well, she's a whole lot of.
She's
people.
a whole movement. Well, no, really though. They've been trying to push the whole fat-friendly thing. I have not all of a sudden expected people to start fucking me.
That is a good one, though. That is a good one, though. They have been pushing plus size women. Not fat shaming. That's one of them.
Ineffectively.
Well,
they could try. You can read about it every day on your Instagram.
That's a good point.
No one's dating more big people because of it, men or women. It's just glad handing. Like, we love you. Be beautiful and big. No one's doing it. Girls aren't rushing to Burger King to gain weight.
Yeah.
They aren't going, oh, is this the new beauty thing? Let's eat 75 Whoppers every day. Like, they're just not doing it. It's instead.
I guess it is true. They can try as they must, but
they're just virtue signaling. It's just like it's a bunch of skinny bitches going, oh, you be brave, girl. Like, but they're still trying to be skinny. Anorexia has been crushing it for the last 40 years. Maybe longer. It's like they could pretend. I'm trying to think of any other movements. Fashion is always changing, but
fashion. Well, and that's also like circular. Like shit comes back around.
I think this is click this or clip this one. That's all transgender is. Fashion.
I think so.
That's what I think, and I think it's a phase. I think we'll always have transgender people.
It's certainly more fashionable
right now. It is a fashion trend.
It certainly is. From like a youth perspective, like all of a sudden youth's interest in it is exploded when like being gay being a youth and being gay hasn't exploded more than anything because it's sort of the same percentage of people that are gay in high school, the same percentage as adults.
It's just,
but now trans people like outnumber gay adults by like 20 to 1. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just the way they're presenting themselves. So it's like some of them aren't changing the genitals. Some of them haven't changed who they're attracted to. They're just changing their presentation. And that's all it is. And they go, I'm transgender because look what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm non-binary now.
It's just fashion. It just comes down to fashion. Because like the real... Imagine, all right, let's do this. Let's say you're a lonely
The non-binary one throws me for a loop. It's like, wait a minute,
let's say you're a lonely teenager, right? Yeah. You're a lonely young man. And you might be homosexual. You don't really know. You've got all these weird feelings. You don't fit in to any kind of group in your school. You're not the athlete. You're not smart. You're not artistic. You don't know. You feel like you got no friends. You got no people. You feel invisible. And then you go home every day and you don't really fit in with your own brothers and sisters or your parents. And you start looking on the internet. And then the internet's like, they start grooming you a little bit saying, hey, maybe the reason you don't fit in any of these groups is because you're born in the wrong body. And hey, we'll accept you. And you go, all right. And then you put on some makeup and you put a dress, you go to school, you try to, and now you've been transcended from invisible to special.
You have a community.
No, even better.
Yeah.
Treated better. Like what a brave kid. And what a special, unique little guy we've got here. Let's really rally around him.
Definitely puts you at the forefront of attention instantly.
Yes, yeah. And it makes us look like good people because we are
accepting of it.
Right. And now he goes, yes, I found my thing. I found my group. I found acceptance. I am special. I am beautiful. I do this. And so it's like, is it sincere or is it just a fashion? Just fashion?
It might be an overcorrection, but I guess it's better than our day of like, it used to be, you come out, we beat your ass. Right. Now it's you come out and we celebrate you, but maybe it's over virtue signaling so we feel good. And
now where did you grow up with that somebody came out and you were beating their ass?
Well, I think it used to be like that.
In the Midwest, people wouldn't come out. It wouldn't necessarily be physically beating the shit out of it. You'd be ostracized.
I don't remember any gay bashing in the 90s
evil.
in New York.
I've always been, I think that's evil.
Yeah.
If you're going to hurt anyone for what they're doing, you're a bad person. Yeah. Like, you're evil. So that all goes out the window. I don't think anyone should ever do that. But also, like, you shouldn't feel the pressure to have to treat someone away because of the way they look or present themselves.
That's the thing. No one's special for being who they are.
Girl hits a home run. We go, yay. Can you believe she did it? We got to pat her on the bottom because she's a girl. A girl did it. You're like, that's so condescending. Treat her like the way you treat if a guy hit a home run. Good job, buddy. Yeah. You're not a hero because you're a different thing. And that's kind of what's happening. It's an overcorrection.
I hear you. All right, let's get into a little news, buddy.
Yeah.
That part of the show.
Shark attack.
You'll like this. School bus driver charged after brake checking young students.
Oh, I saw that.
Wait, brake checking means like the car behind you brake check. But like,
but I guess the kids were standing up. Let's get into it. A video from inside the bus first obtained this week by KRDO captured the jolt that sent the Castle Rock Elementary School students' faces into the back of the seats in front of them in Colorado Springs. That
driver should be charged. There's no seatbelts on these buses.
I think it's great. Brian Fitzgerald, 61, a substitute bus driver, who was dropping off the students ranging from kindergartners to sixth graders.
Yeah, these are little kids.
Oh, we got the video. Even better. Fuck the article.
You guys want to see how dangerous that is? That is so mean.
But kids can be shitty, son.
Oh, he told them it was coming. He didn't even do it. He didn't really.
That wasn't that hard. Yeah.
He said, "Hey, you need to see why you want to be in your seats. You want to see why?" Like he was already slowing down, and then he gave it a little extra and stopped and warned them before.
Mike, strong disagree.
They're still stupid
Most
kids.
of those kids are in their seats.
Yeah.
He goes, here's why you got to be in your seats. You want to see? Which is not a warning. Yeah. He didn't say I'm about to slam on the brakes. He said, you want to see why? And you're like, we are in our seats.
Let's see again.
Look, most of these kids are in their seats.
I guess he's just bitching about this single one in the aisle. What a grumpy old dude.
Look, because all the kids that are in their seats, they got their face whapped on
those kids, listen, all right, I'll be honest.
They're too young.
Grumpy old man.
That's where I draw the line, Jeff. If this were like high school, these kids are middle school, break the shit out of them. I mean, these kids are like 5, 6, 7.
Like a snotty sophomore in high school.
These are like 7 years old. Yeah,
little kids. This guy's a dickhead.
Yeah.
I wonder how he got caught, though.
The camera and all the kids leaving crying.
No, I'm saying, did all these kids tell their parents, my face hit the...
Well, all it is one kid saying it, and then they go to the camera.
Good. That's the beauty of modern times.
This guy also has to know there's a fucking camera inside the goddamn thing.
What do you get charged with? Does it say?
Yeah, it says.
Old people are the exact ones who just forget technology. They all of a sudden go back 50 years,
Oh.
forget that everything's recording, and just act like animals. And then all of a sudden, someone's like, "Dude, you know this is all recording." And then they, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah. You
Also,
do.
he's the only one with a seatbelt on that whole bus.
The whole bus. Yeah, kids don't wear seatbelts on the school bus. Which, how do they get away with that? I don't know. It says Fitzgerald has been fired from his job and faces 30 misdemeanor charges of child abuse.
It's great.
Yeah.
Wait,
Probably every kid on the bus.
Yeah, one for every kid on the bus.
child abuse. Like, well, I wonder what the punishment is for a misdemeanor child abuse. Is that like a fine, or is that going to be?
I mean, 30 of them in a row could be problematic.
That's what I'm saying. Interesting.
I don't know if I talked about this one with you, Jeff. I think I might have talked about it off the podcast. But Agraf Hakimi's wife filed for divorce and wanted more than half the Moroccan's football property. But it turns out he has all of his belongings registered to his mother.
Who's this?
A Moroccan international football star. He's trending because his wife is suing him for half of his net worth in a divorce. But it was discovered that all of his personal belongings and all of his money and property are in his mother's name.
Smart. It's a smart guy. People might be able to figure out who I'm talking about, but my financial advisors both have all of their stuff in their parents' names, in their mom's names.
Really?
They've done that, so that if there is a divorce, there's not
Genius.
losing everything.
Genius.
Yeah, smart.
I don't know. And women are like, "Oh, that's so fucked up." It's like,
No, it's not.
how's that fucked up? You tried a thing, and he outsmarted you. You lose.
Well, not outsmarted. It's just like
No, he outsmarted the bitch.
it's like why does I don't understand how we know marriages are very unreliable, and then yet you still think like that can be you know
Ain't gonna be me.
if it doesn't work, at least I get a bunch of money. It's like no, there's no consolation prize.
What's the next one? Oh, I did break check already. This is interesting. I don't know how you feel about this one. So another teacher here. Write your own obituary. A teacher is fired for a shooting-inspired assignment. A high school teacher was fired after he suggested his students write for a creative writing assignment, write their own obituary after one of these school shootings that happened recently. It says, there are mass shootings everywhere, unfortunately, Keene said. So being the psychology teacher, I said, I can tie this into a lesson plan. And the lesson was to learn about, death and coming to terms with that. And he asked the students to write their own obituary. And he was fired for it.
Really?
Yeah. Now, what would you write in your own obituary? If you had
what is the definition of an obituary? It just says who I am,
Yes,
who I was
something
related to.
No, that's write
What
something
I
about
did.
yourself when you're dead. Like
No, but I'm just saying an obituary.
Yeah, it's something that's read at a funeral.
I thought an obituary was like the thing that is like the public statement, like
A brief biography of the deceased. There you go.
He was a comedian. He loved this. He's survived
It's like
by
what would be
his
in the
two
newspaper.
sisters.
Yeah.
He's survived by his sisters.
Oh,
and his
yeah.
parents.
So it's
Like,
not a
that's an
eulogy.
obituary.
It's not a eulogy. It's an obituary.
It was really just like saying write a biography about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
What about a eulogy?
A eulogy, yeah, that's tough because that's really flattering and like how you'd like to be remembered. But I don't think either of these are a fireable offense.
I know, right? That's part of the problem.
I think
like,
it's nice.
It's insensitive. There was a school shooting. It's like, yeah, I'm helping them cope with death.
Yeah.
Like the idea that kids shouldn't think about their own death is preposterous to me.
Yeah.
We're all going to die someday. You should consider it a fact.
The
odds that they're not.
Yeah. The solution to rape is not never speaking about rape.
Yeah.
Because it might hurt someone's ears or it's a bad word. No, you have to be informed about these things so that it can be fought against or handled correctly or treated. So it's like, yeah, I think that's good. We should be talking about death. We're the only country that doesn't. Yeah.
Other
weird.
cultures are much more intimate with death. It's like part of their life.
Yeah, because what's the point? Like of ignoring it? It's coming.
Well, I think the more you ignore it, the more you're not getting the most out of life that you can.
Yeah.
Because if you never think about death, you're gonna think you live forever. So what the fuck is one day against millions more?
Right.
But to know that you're gonna die and that every day passes, you're getting closer to dying, makes you try and get a little bit more out of that day. I would think.
100%. And also, it's like, why is death bad?
Yeah, that's a good point.
well, like most people believe they're gonna go to this great place, or they're gonna, so it's like maybe you don't believe what you claim you believe if you're afraid of death, if you're fearing what happens afterwards.
You're afraid you're wrong.
Yeah.
What would you write about your eulogy, Mike? Oh, sorry, your obituary. I think a eulogy would be more interesting, writing your own eulogy.
Yeah, I think the story is more that he shouldn't have been fired. But I would talk about my love for others. Like, I think that's what makes me good.
That's what you'd go with?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd trash myself. I think it'd be funnier.
Well, like at my sister's funeral,
did you write the eulogy there?
It was a very, obviously, probably one of the worst weeks of my life, obviously, for obvious reasons. But there was like a little glimmer of kind of like pride when at the funeral, like everyone that was going to speak was like, "Can Jeff go last?" Like no one wanted to follow him. And I did have like a little bit of pride.
They wanted you to close the show?
Yeah, I was like, even in my lowest hour, I was still like, oh, that's kind of flattering that everyone's like, we know he's going to kill it. Like he talks for a living. He's going to have the best eulogy. He's hurting. He hasn't been doing anything but writing this. And so that was pretty flattering that. And also,
How long did you do? Did you run the light?
No, not
He was
long.
waving you off?
No, I did. It was probably like a few minutes. It was tasteful and to the point. But also afterwards, when everyone comes by and they shake your hand afterwards of the family.
Your son koozies?
One woman, she gave me this big hug and she goes, what you said was really, really beautiful. She goes, you're also the only person I've ever seen give a eulogy that said the F word over and over. Yeah, because I was just talking loose, I'm like, I fucking love my sister. Like just the way you say the F word casually. Like I was crushing, by the way. I was getting laughs. I was telling good stories. I was getting
a clean
tears.
show, Grandma.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, hey, I'm hurting up here. I'm going to talk the way I talk.
I hope you didn't sell merch afterward.
Nope.
Okay.
And I didn't burn the light. Yeah, it was very respectful. But also, it was like, it was therapeutic. Like, to give the eulogy is therapeutic.
I bet it is.
Josh's brother, Kurt, who I've talked about many times publicly, a good guy, rest in peace. Josh is at Kurt's funeral. Kurt and Josh's nephews, which they're very close to, like, just not a dry eye in the house. They were just like, we miss you, Kurt. Like, we love you, Kurt. Like that, because they're too young to do. Know. I was just like, oh my God. Like that's like the sweetest, cutest little thing in the world.
How old are they?
Like 4 and 6 or something. I mean, I was like, but just to have that, and then everyone's just going, oh God. Like, I mean, there's
plain death to them.
Not weep at that.
Terrible. All right, well, we'll end on a high note.
All right.
A billionaire is looking to pay a nanny for their live-in dog, $127,000 a year.
Man, how many applications do you think that guy's getting?
I mean, $127,000
to hang out with a dog.
To live in their billionaire mansion.
Do you know that it provides housing? You got to show up every day at 5 a.m. You got to leave it.
Yeah, U.S. billionaire family based in the UK has gone viral after posting a job opening for a full-time dog nanny at a salary of $127,000 per year. Our returning client is seeking an exceptional and highly experienced dog nanny to provide top-tier care for their 2 beloved dogs. They're truly looking for someone at the top of their field who can ensure their overall well-being and happiness and safety of their dogs.
Well, I'm out.
What? A top-tier dog nannying?
Have you seen these TikTok dogs? I mean, I don't know how often you're on TikTok. This same as Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
But, like, there's, like, one video of, like, this. I just watched it recently. And they added sound effects, so it was kind of cute. But they had, like, this dog, and then they gave him, like, a bath, and then dried him, and then hair dried him, and then brushed him. And they put this, like, oil through the dog's thing, and then took their paws, clipped the nails, put like this foam on his paws, then like did like a little brush. It was the dog was like dog day spa, and it's just going, this dog, unreal how it's being treated. Well, that's what they're looking for.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say 120. I mean,
some
how does it watch a dog? Take the dog out,
easy,
shit, bring it back in.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
I bet these billionaires have some cameras though. They're gonna be like, what are you watching, a movie? The dog is.
You're not paying attention to the dog.
Dog's in the other room. We're paying you
$127,000.
You got to hang around the dog all day,
dude. I knew a family. They had 2 homes. They had one here in L.A., a big palace, and then they had one in Martha's Vineyard, like big private thing. And they had dogs that lived at both houses, and then dogs that would travel with them to both houses.
Nice.
So there was 2 dogs that stayed in their Martha's Vineyard house all year round.
Yeah.
They hired somebody who was like a chef in town, like at one of the high-end restaurants. But they hired him to live like in their guest house to watch their 2 dogs that would like run around, in the main house.
Sure.
And they stay there. Paid him $70,000 a year. Plus, I let him live there for free.
See, that's the good part.
Yeah.
Wait, here's what I don't get though. When are they hanging out with their dogs?
The 2 months out of the year, they're in Martha's Vineyard. The other 10 months, he's with the dogs.
Well, I mean, this guy.
Oh, this fucking guy.
So, like, now they come home.
The dog likes...
Do I go, do you want me to leave you with the dogs, or does she want me to hang out while you hang out with the dog? Like, what? Like, I'm here for the dog. What do you...
Well, also, like, think about that. You come home and the dog wants to hang out with the fucking nanny, not you. Like,
Yeah, of course.
The dog's actually... Yeah.
I'm with him all the time.
Yeah, that guy rules.
That's like my dog.
That guy massages me all the time. He fucking hate you. Like,
My last
the
dog.
dog doesn't know you pay that guy to be that way to you.
My last dog, I paid for all this training. And so he would sit with the trainer. The trainer would teach him all these tricks and all these things. I was like, that's my dog? He would send him like videos. And then he would come to my house and I'd try to get him to do it. He wouldn't do anything. Because he was like, I don't respect you.
I just like the other guy.
Yeah, that guy's my owner, I think. That guy's awesome. We work together 4 times a day, or 4 days a week. I come home and you're barely around. It was so depressing. He'd send me videos like, no, you really gotta like do this and do that. He doesn't do it when I try to get him to it.
Shows me no respect.
He knows my face and goes, nope. That guy. I'm gonna do it for that guy.
Oh, another good one in the can, buddy.
Yeah, buddy, I'm excited.
Appreciate you coming by.
Thanks for having me.
You know where to find him, at Jeff Dye.
Follow me.
JeffDye.com. Where we see all
Vote
my
for
dates.
me.
2024? 2030. No, 2028.
2028.
2028. You'll be...
The youngest running.
No,
Although that
you wouldn't be
Vivek
close.
is pretty young.
You would be close.
Really?
2028?
Yeah. I'd be 40
Yeah.
something. Who's the youngest?
The youngest ever was JFK.
Yeah, but what is he, 35?
He
36?
was like 38 or 39 when he was elected.
Okay, that's still pretty old.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to be older than that.
Yeah.
You're already older than that.
I'm already older than JFK.
But that's it for this one, guys. We love you. Right? Subscribe, all that bullshit. Read, review, rate,
Subscribe.
whatever they say.
Vote.
All the stuff. Vote for Jeff Dye. All right, guys. Peace.